Now to the conversation of the day. The closure of major airspace corridors and the suspension of operations at critical gulf hubs such as Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Doha due to the escalating crisis in the Middle East has triggered widespread flight cancellations and left countless passengers, including many Nigerians and other Africans, in a state of uncertainty. These disruptions are not merely inconveniences. They threaten livelihoods, business connectivity, tourism revenues, as well as seamless flow of remittances that sustain so many families back home. Today on the program, we turn our attention specifically to the aviation sector, which is bearing the immediate brunt of this turmoil. And to help us understand the full implications, we have joining us via Zoom from Lagos, an aviation expert, Captain Ahmed Ibrahim Mahmood. He's the Director of Operations, United Nigeria Airlines. Thank you for joining us at this time, Captain.
Thank you
Captain,
very much
can you hear
for
me?
having me here.
Okay, great.
It's nice
Okay,
to
great.
be here with you today. Good
Thank you.
morning.
Captain, I know your airline is yet to begin international flights, but local connectivity is also connected to international connectivity. Could you now fill us in on what exactly is happening to air travel right now because of this crisis in the Middle East, now that we hear information of the closures of the main hubs, particularly in the Gulf? How serious is the situation? How is it affecting businesses and livelihoods? Give us a situation report.
Okay, thank you very much for having me here today once again. And definitely it's a serious situation. Talking about the issue happening currently in the world, affecting the Nigerian local flights will not be very intense, but looking at the international flight where most of Nigeria passengers route through uh, Dubai, Qatar, and other Middle East airline, this is going to cause a lot of delay, a lot of effect in business and other people traveling for medical and other situation out there. And not knowing when this kind of situation is going to end, the best way is just to shut down the airfield and to avoid any more crises by shutting down or mistakenly affecting a commercial flight while doing takeoff or during landing into these airfields. So the best is to keep the airfield shut for now until when they are able to reach a ceasefire situation.
Okay.
Because for
Okay.
us in Nigeria, it's not really affecting because we don't have any flight going into from the going into Dubai for now and or Qatar. But we understand a lot of Nigeria fly through those routes, especially for business, medical, and other situations. So, and if there is any, the only thing is for maybe for cargo flight, if they are coming through that route, they have to change their route. Everybody flying in the airspace now is being very careful to know where they are going, their flight path, and not to go into the wrong airspace. So
Now, now,
this is
now,
the situation.
now you've mentioned the impact on not just business. We have medical travels. We have students who fly these particular routes and all of that. Can you give us the possible impact in naira, in dollar, and short term as well as long term?
Okay. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of business affecting a lot of business because if you look at these air carriers coming through Nigeria, they make quite a lot of money coming flying through Lagos out to Qatar and Emirates and all these airlines. It's quite a lot of economy. It's quite a lot of fun for them to be able to. And now, when you don't know the amount of, day by day we fly. It's a daily flight going out from Lagos. If you look at in Africa, one of their major routes is Lagos,
Yeah,
Nigeria,
sure.
which they get quite a lot of passenger out of Lagos, and which is a lot of income for them. it will have just been a very good business move for a Nigerian carrier if we are going to most of these destinations that they are flying to. But if you look at them, even into other destinations apart from Nigeria, every other route they are flying to has been shut down because they cannot be able to hold on to this. They cannot be able to hold on to the operations because of the situation that is happening over there. Flying in the air together with missiles flying is not an option. So the best is just to keep the aircraft. And if you want to look at the economic effect, you will not want to keep the aircraft. But safety is priority in aviation. So the best is just to keep the aircraft on ground and allow situation to calm down before putting the aircraft back into the air.
Okay, Captain Ahmed, we understand that safety is first, particularly survival. But then coming to talk about when you have to travel, at the point that you have to reroute flights, which adds significant hours of fuel costs, which adds to the total cost of travel. If you must travel, what are the alternatives? Rerouting, what's the way to go? Particularly
Okay,
for
if
medicals.
you must
Particularly
travel,
for medicals, when you don't have
they have to
alternatives in country,
reroute, they
perhaps.
have to if they must travel, they have to reroute. And if you look at most of these airlines, is a hub they have. Every destination they go to comes back through their hub to be able to travel. And now it will be very difficult for them to have to immediately create another hub somewhere else. Now, if you are going to the US from Lagos, you have to first go through Qatar or through Dubai to be able to connect, and they bring everybody together to that destination and put everybody going to that destination in an aircraft and route. Now, for them to be able to develop another hub outside the Middle East is going to be a very big capital. It's going to be capital intensive for them, and I don't think it's something they want to do now as soon as possible. So talking about rerouting the flight, it costs depend now. If you reroute the flight, there's going to be fuel implication, other navigational charges, new plans, so many things involved in rerouting your flight. So for a Nigerian airline, which were maybe to be going through that destination or through that route, it is easier because our destination is not into that into those airspace, our destination is not into those airports, so it is easier. But for them, it is not easy to reroute. The best is just to keep the aircraft on ground. So because rerouting means they are going to go to another hub, they are going to create something else. So
Okay, now,
that is not
look,
very visible now.
okay, looking at back home now, what is the opportunity? Is there any opportunity for Nigerian operators, particularly at this time? Yes, we know that we don't have a national carrier for now, but we're having the private aviation experts, the private business people filling in this gap. What's the opportunity for Nigeria?
Right now, the opportunity is for people like airpeace that fly into London or anybody that wants to go through London, through all these places to come back and fly with people that goes direct like airpeace and other airlines that comes direct and have to avoid any route that takes them towards the war zone. These are just the opportunity. But for any Nigerian carrier not yet going into the international market, there is nothing really you can do. The only thing we have, the oil issue that is going to be affecting the world, shooting the prices up, is not really going to affect us like it is going to be before when we don't have the Dangote refinery. Because if it was before that we don't have the Dangote refinery, to get aviation fuel jet A1 would be very serious now, and all other fuels that we use. But with this kind of development in Nigeria, it gives us a better edge, not for the fuel rise in the market not to affect our operation critically.
So now what
I
you're
think
saying
that
in
is
essence is that with the private airlines taking up the challenge in Nigeria, as well as the blessing of the Dangote refinery, Nigerians and by extension Africans have no cost to worry. Is that what you're saying?
well, they don't have much cause to worry much. no much worries. This
Okay,
should
but then
not.
if this conflict is prolonged, some analysts are saying it could be what is the worst case scenario for Nigeria's aviation sector and businesses in general that depend on this international travels. You know, Nigerians love to travel, if not just for business, also for leisure, and also the medicals and academics, like you rightly mentioned. Just a wrap on that.
Well, I will say, if this prolong, I don't think it can be as worst as what happened during COVID.
Okay.
People were not able to travel. People were still able to survive. And for people that are traveling for leisure, for business, we have other ways to be able to carry out business meetings and attending conferences and all that. That can be done online. The only critical situation is for those that really need a very serious medical attention. And this brings us to the fact that even in Nigeria, we have places you can attend some medical, you can get some medical support. So this is going to boost the economy. If it talks about medical, we have other hospitals, and this brings us to the fact that we need to develop our own medical facilities and other equipment to be able to stay within and get all necessary medications. So,
Captain
but
Mahmoud,
for
the takeaway from this conversation is that in all of it, it is an advantage for Nigeria to grow a local
yes,
capacity, not just in aviation, but also in medicals, in academics, and all facets of life that make us depend on some other persons out there. Thank you so very much
yes.
for sharing your thoughts with us at this point in time.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you. And this gives us opportunity to look inward, develop our facilities, and we're able to grow ourselves better so that we don't depend on any other one out there. We can do what we need to do internally. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. That's well said.